is VR. Let me check. Yes, we are live. Okay, so just setting up context, what we will be going to do today. Oh, I can't see my live. Will I? Oh, okay. Okay. So my I was joining a new company. So they work around Golang and ConnectRPC. I just removed my avatar. I will add in some um, other lectures or not a lecture. I mean in the stream. Let me add it. I think it could be good because it make my stream bit different from another one. Okay, just a minute. No one is watching. That is a little bit crazy. But I can see one viewer. Just a minute. No one is watching. No one is watching. Okay, so let me add my avatar. Hmm. Yay! That's cool. Uh, so just I have to do quick here and here and then okay. That looks good. Should I zoom it? I guess how it looks. Okay. Yeah, that looks really good. So setting up context. So we will be doing around Connect RPC and Golang. So it will be uh, Connect RPC plus Golang. Okay. Mhm. So you can see this one is Connect RPC. So this is in a simple, reliable, and interoperable protobuf RPC that works. You can see Connect is in a family of library for building browser and gRPC compatible API. If you're tired of handwritten boilerplate and turned off massive framework, Connect is for you. So you can see here, use it with a curl. So support any HTTP client. So the if we build this through ConnectRPC, it's about an HTTP client. Curl, you can do a curl in that way. So this one is your API. I mean, that's so where we hosted, and this one is I think the service, if I'm not wrong. And you can also do a gRPC, and it also support web browser, React, Angular, Servlet, like that. Some of the more thing, it's on a production grade simplicity, compatible with gRPC, familiar primitives, no boilerplate. So the Connect RPC uh, is on a sandbox project, I think. It's a sandbox project, right? So ConnectRPC was accepted to CNCF on April 13, 2024 at a sandbox maturity level. Okay. Mhm. So they have a Go guide, they have a Node.js guide, Webs guide, and some of more. So you can see CNCF sandbox projects. How many stars they have? 564 followers. 3.7. I also have, but I think um behind the Connect RPC, Buff is the company who built it, I think. Hmm. Okay. Oh, he's Indian, I think. Field CDO, yeah. I said Buff. Give me a minute. Okay. Really awesome. Uh, so I think we can start. What we will be doing here, we will be mostly will be around Golang, because that was our main language. I have a couple of projects around gRPC, if I can show you. But actually, I built last month. It's been more than a 1.5 month. Uh, so that's why I have forgot a lot of things into it. I don't know how to block these things. A 4.5 following. I think out of 63, there are just 13 or 14s are the boat. I don't know how to block this. So if I type connect, so you can see on the one to do. I think one more. I'm not sure about that, but I have one more project. Just let me check it. Oh yeah, voting demo. So these are the two projects. One is this one, which is learning around Connect RPC Golang plus MongoDB. And another one is hacking around Connect RPC plus Golang. So this one is a basic voting application. I'm keeping aside in my tab. So there was because a bit of problem I get every time when I create this buff.yml. That's why I'm keeping it as a handy here. Okay. Not just this. If you go to their GitHub, mm, yeah. So if you go to their GitHub, they have a bunch of examples around Golang. Like Go, they have a mostly are around Golang comparing to JavaScript, Python, or some other. You can see example Go. You'll find this example, which is an example Go. I will be doing with like we'll fork this and then we'll do some hacking around it. Not hacking, I mean we'll run some of the things around it. Okay. Uh, one of the most important which I've seen is this one, gRPC health one. I will be just selecting one of the project which I can look into it, which have a less commit, because less commit means there's not much work OTL, that is on around Open Telemetry. Hmm. This one is good, to be honest. This one is really good. So I'm keeping this one to here with my project. This one is also good. We'll see that gRPC health one. Validate cross this one and this one. Okay, so this one is a validate which have a 34 commit. Sorry, validate. Okay. Mm-hmm. Validate looks good. Validate one looks good. This one is a most less yeah, less commit. I mean, validate one is also good. We'll do a more hacking around it tomorrow, and this one is also good. What we can do? Can we select this? We'll keep. We'll create add tabs to new group. PC example. Connect our PC. Connect our PC. This one is also connect our PC. And this one is also connect our PC. So you can just keep this one and keep this one here. We can do like this. Okay, that looks really awesome. Okay. Mhm. Any more thing which we can see? I don't think so. We have any more? Okay, let us get back to this. We can start with the introduction. I think I already have given you the introduction. We can start from a getting a start. Okay. Mhm. Okay. So the Connect is a slim library for building a browser-based and gRPC compatible HTTP API. Note this. I think, is there any tool by which we can uh, hover this or like make it bit of colored one? Okay. So basically, the Connect is a slim library for building browser and gRPC compatible HTTP API. You define your service with a protocol buffer. Like we need that one. The Connect generate type safe server and client code. Fill in your server business logic and you are done. No handwritten marshalling, routing, or client code required. The 15-minute walkthrough helps you to create a small Connect a PC in Go. It demonstrates what your will be writing by hand, what Connect generates for you, and how to call your new API. Prerequisites is you will need. Mhm. You'll need. Okay, that's cool. I think I already have, but I'm going through it to just to revise everything again. So I'm just opening my terminal. I think that could be good to have this here. Go to journey XFYZ. We did in YT content, MQDIR. We can go for example, connect connect RPC. Example, connect RPC, and then we can go mod edit whole except.com. example connect our PC. Okay, we can open this in code editor. Yeah, and then we can come up here, and now we can use this terminal. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure why these days my terminals are running a bit slow when I am doing a streaming. Okay, we did this, and then we need these three things. One is buff build, this one. Okay, so we can go for this one. Oh, okay, so we can go here, type go package, this one, and we can get this one. We'll read this just a minute, and then this one is around protobuf, and this one is around connect RPC connect and proto C. So this one is in a bit of plugin. If you see, this one is that plugin. Yes, so Proto C Gen Connect Go is a protocol buffer compiler plugin used by ConnectRPC ecosystems to generate Go code for Connect API. So this one ConnectRPC uses to generate a Go code Go code for a Connect API. The plugin is a part of Connect Go project, a slib RPC framework built on protocol buffer and the standard net slash HTTP library for Go. If you see how this works, we can read this. So purpose, the plugin reads your .proto file and generate the necessary Go interface, client constructors, HTTP handlers, service stub to implement your RPC services. Uses uh, you use the standard proto C compiler for a modern alternative like buff and specify the proto C gen connect go plugin to generate the code. Generated file, the plugin generates a separate connect specific Go package for service stubs, which imports the base image, base messages types generated by standard connect gen go. Oh, let me read it again. The plugin generates a separate connect specific Go package for service stub, which imports the base message type generated by the standard proto C Gen Go plugin. These keeps the core messages type lightweight and avoid name collisions. Okay, compatibility. The generated code and the runtime library support three protocols: the Connect protocol, gRPC, and gRPC Web. Allow for broad interoperability. Okay, that is cool. Just a minute. Huh. Okay. The another one is this. So this one is GitHub buff build buff. I was asking for buff build buff cmd slash buff. Okay, so maybe we don't have that. We'll have a cmd and cmd and then buff. Okay, so this one is a buff.go. You can come up here and Mhm. Okay, I can't understand that, so just leave that. Uh, okay, so let us go and install this. Okay, okay. It's taking a bit of time to install it. Okay, let us go through these more. So you need buff, you need a proto gen C, proto C gen go, and proto C gen connect go on your path. If which buff proto C gen go, eh? What? Which? Oh, okay, sorry. Which proto? I think I already have that. I mean, no, 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 no. I think doesn't succeed. Add this. I think which swap or not. Which buff? We have a which buff. Uh, which we already have that one too. And the third one is which we all have three. All three we have. That's why I don't do that because it takes a lot of time. Okay. Uh, if we don't have, so we need to check it. Is that downloaded or not? If it is not downloaded, so please maybe you have to add in your um, env, not env. I mean, in if you are using Mac, then ZSRC or base RC. I do in this one ZSH ZSHRC one. So you can just follow this or just run this one so we can export this path. Okay. After that, what you have to do, because we already do, we are ready to write the protocol buffer schema that defines our services. So we try to uh, gives the way to write it. So we are going to have a package great version, and so we will do this inside and on a folder greet version 1, and then greet something like a greet.proto. So if I can show you some example from my own, so I have everything's resides for me is inside the proto folder. So inside the proto folder, I have a voting and version 1, and then voting.proto, and then you can see the package is voting.version 1. So it is inside the voting version 1. So it was you can take it as a convention. It's a convention to write it. It's not necessary, but it's good to have in such way so other developer also can uh, directly see it where everything is. Okay. Uh, I don't know why it's stuck it here. I don't know. Okay, let us go and see what are the things we have in it. I don't know why it's get stuck here. Then you have to do a touch because I have not installed the Go latest Go and not other like buff or other tools that we are using in this. It's not updated. I mean not up to date, so we need to install that. And maybe my internet is um, running a bit slow. Running the speed test. Ah, I think it's a 40, around 40 Mbps. So okay, let us see. We can do it. I think if it is taking a time, we can do it. So we created an agreed, and then we have to create another buff. So you can see, okay, so it's get installed. Okay, so inside the greed version 1 and then greed.proto. Inside this, what we will be going to do is we will be using an syntax proto 3. So basically, if you thought what is a proto 3, so you can search it what is a proto 3 in dot proto file. Okay, so you can read it here. A proto 3 is on a third and current major version of protocol buffer language. So how we are using version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4. So it is in the similar way the protocol buffer language is in a third version. Okay. So developed by a Google for efficient serializing structured data in a .proto file, and proto 3 is especially by adding a syntax equals to proto 3 and then comma as their first non-empty non-comment non-comment line which tells the compiler to use the modern syntax and features. So key structures of proto 3 simplified syntax. Default values are there like in 32. We will go through that just a minute. uh, so in this way we do in a syntax proto 3, that's in a version, and this one is helps prevent naming conflict, define the data structures, and define enum. Enum always start with a 0, otherwise others one is start with a 1. We'll see that why it is start with a 1 and why it is start with a 0. um, so let me let's go deep. We can ask AI why it is. I don't have a pro but thinking to take a pro. Okay. Mhm. We are here now and it also get installed. So we have a last one. Okay, so you can do an syntax and then you can just you are getting an and then a package, and this one is a greed version 1. And after a greed version 1 we'll do a message which is a note. How we do things, let me tell you. We have a service which is a greet service. We have a grpc and then greet. That greet, here what it will take, here it will take a request and here it will take a response. Okay, So how we started, so if the service is greet, this one the method we have that is a greet, then this will be a greet request and then this one will be greet response. It is also on a convention to do in that way. So we can start it here and write it service, and then service name will do a greet service. Okay, so we'll do a greet service, and inside the greet service you can get it RPC greet request returns greet response. I think I can off the copilot so I can write it more code RPC and then greet, and here you need a greet request and it returns greet response. Okay, it returns and this needs to be in that way. Okay, we don't have a okay, let me just show you. You can see this one has in that way. We can just put this one. We have a greet request to call it. So here we do in that way, we do a message in the message way. So we'll type a message and greet request, and that greet request, what it takes it. Okay, let me just type it both and then I will tell you. Okay, greet request means this method what request it will take it, I mean the argument, and what it will return it. So if you see here, for a submit vote it takes some vote submission, and if you search vote submission which takes a poll id, option id, voter id and submission timestamp, and what it return it is a vote receipt. So it is bit different. I already break that rules, but if you see here uh, again, but it was a bit different one, that's why maybe I breaked this. But to be honest, that was not the convention. Maybe I was writing that one, that's why I did in that way. Let me see it in that one. So you can see this. I have a proto, and inside this proto, I have auth version one. We have a to-do version one, user version one, workspace version one. So you create to do request, create to do response, and then gets everyone have in that way. Okay. If I saw here the greet request, which takes on a string name one, and they have some validate one. It depend on you whether you want to add it or not. Like it takes then a minimum name is one character and another one is an 50. And suppose it keeps you a greeting string. I mean, thank you, something other. So you can take it a string, and that is string takes on a name. And here it takes a string greeting equals to 1 again. So this is the whole thing. Okay, got it. You did a greet request and then greet response. The file described greet.version1, which is on a protobuf package, a service called greet service, and a single method called greet. I said method greet with a request and response message. That's message, yeah. includes validation. Yeah, you can write it validation if you want, but I don't want a validation, so we are skipping that. These package surveys and method name will appear soon in our HTTP API URLs. Okay, that is cool. Okay. How will you going to generate your code? Because we said we will generate a Go code for Connect API. So here we are going to generate our code using Buff. The company who created, or like you can see it here, created by Buff. Um, so we are going to generate our code using Buff, and a modern replacement for Google Proto C buffer. So Proto C buffer one is very lengthy command to generate the code. This one is a modern replacement for Google Proto, not Proto C, I said Proto Buff compiler. We installed Buff earlier, but we also need a few configuration files to get going. If you had prefer, you can use Proto C instead. Proto C Gen Connect Go. Behave like any other plugins. First, scaffold a basic buff.yml by running buff config init and then replacing it content with it. Okay, so you can just call it buff config init. So if you type buff config init, what it will create an buff.yml which have a version 2, which have a lint, which uses a standard library and file breaking use file. Okay, so you can just copy this one and remove it. We don't have any, so we can remove that one. If you see it here, we have that depth one. Okay, if you want to keep it, you can keep it. I don't have any problem. Okay, so in this, the module is inside Proto. That's why they typed it modules, and then this will be in Proto, and then this one is holding like that. Okay. After this, you need to do, I think, protogen. Uh, okay, one more file you need is buff.gen.ym. So you need an buffgen.ym, which have a version 2, which expect plugin. And that plugin we already have installed in a local plugin, which is a proto gen go proto c gen go, and another one we installed it proto c gen connect go. So it both it have a local which we have already installed. Output will be gen. uh, Path is like source relative. Managed enable true. Override, again we have into the examples as gen, then it should be inside that. Disable buff one. Okay, I mean that buff build proto validate one, you can ignore it. Let us escape it, or we need then. Okay. uh, this one I think we need to change it. Just let me check this one. Buff gen uh internal Django plugin override. Okay, I said already I said you need this example to change this. Okay. I think another things looks good, which will be inside Jan. You can also do inside the Jan Go. There was no any problem with it. Okay. So you can do an above deep update. Okay. No config dependencies were found to update in above lane. Okay. Into above generate. So after above generate, you can find out in a gen because we have configured the output should be in gen. Inside gen, I think should we need that or not that? I think we don't need. Read. Or we need. We need. Okay. So in the internal one we need now. Internal gen. Then go. We need. Okay. That's good. Okay. Just a minute. So we will see a grid version one where we have this. You can see the grid service name. You can see a grid service client and they will have a grid method. And one is this one. Okay. We get in the same way. So you can see in your directory, you should now see some generated Go. Gen greet version 1 greet.pv.go greet version 1 connect greet.connect.go. Okay, so package gen slash greet slash version 1 contains greet.pv.go, which was generated by Google Proto and Go, and it contains the greet request and greet response struct and the associated marshalling code. The package gen slash greet slash version 1 greet version 1 connect. Okay, if I this one connects contains greet.connect.go, which were generated by proto gen connect slash go, and it contains the http handler and client interface and constructor. Feel free to poke around if you're interested. Hmm. So we see this, have seen this. If you see here, okay, you will find this. There's a greet service client which have an greet method which takes a context and then version 1 greet request and it returns in a version 1 greet response and error. You already find a great service client again. Okay, we are now inside implement handler. Now we need to implement handler, right? We need to implement handler. So implement handler, the code we generated. Just a minute. Just a minute. The code we generated takes care of boring boilerplate, but we still need to implement our greeting logic. Okay, in the generated code, this is represented as greet version 1 connect dot greet service handler interface. Since if you go here and just you can do it, this one was what we are talking about. Okay, interface. Since the interface is so small, we can do everything in a one go package, and then you can just do in this way, and you can just create command slash server, then add main.go. Okay, we created this. Now we have a cmd, we have this, and inside this you can see these are the things we need to implement. So what do you think? Firstly, what we can do? We can do a go mod id and just wait for installation. Okay, we get to that. We can do a package main. After a package main, you need a function which is a main, right? Which is a main. What are the things we need to implement here? Firstly, we need to think about the great version 1, which is generated by proto gen go, and another which we need is generated by proto c gen connect go. You can use both of that. If you want to use the proto gen go one, then you can use that one. If you want to use the version 1 connect one, then you can use that one. There's no any problem in it. uh, if you are using a connect one, then those are some slight or subtle change while sending the response. Okay, what we can start now, we can start it from main. So inside a main, what we need to do is first to call a greet server. Okay, let us do the greet server first. So here what you have to implement is one is an greet server, and then we have an greet method, which is how we do often. We go here and then just copy this one, came here again, and then can do a function like that, and this one, and you can do a context, and this one as a version 1, and then you can do uh, version 1 the example version 1. So you can do this one as a version 1. Okay, so this is the way you have to do it. So I think this one is in a request. It's depend on you if you want this as a request, or if you want this one as a great version 1, or whatever you feel this as a request. And then this one we can say sorry, this one, and then this one. Okay, that looks cool, right? And the second thing which you need is around ConnectRPC. That one is then a connect, which is generated by proto gen connect go. We'll do that, just copying it here to keep these things. Here, what you need basically, you are not using context. What we are just calling is greet version 1 dot greet response, and then just returning that. This is not a sudden change when we will be using the greet version 1 connect one, because you need this one to be expected. But if you go here and find out this one is a bit different. Sorry, whether you will find it out or not, I think we will not. Okay, you can go here and we can just return a response, and that response is, because this will be like that, greet version 1, because we need uh greet response, and here is a greeting. Now how greeting comes from your proto gen c, because we are expecting greeting as a response. Okay, and we will also get a name. Okay, so how will you get a name? We will talk about it. Sprintf, and you can see here we are getting that name, hello, and then percentage s, and here you can, sorry, here you can do a request dot name, right? You can do a request name and then just return it. Okay, this is a way you just have to define. You can do an asterisk server. Okay. Mhm. After this greet method just came into your main and add your listen server. I mean, just implement it. So you can see a greet which takes an a greet server, and then we are using mux. So mux is http dot new server mux, and then path and handler you have to configure, which is comes from greet version 1 connect dot new service new greet service handler, which takes greeter, and if we have a validator, then that also asks for validator. Okay, if you go here and then go here main, you will find it out. Bit of different, I guess, because this one is in a client one, this one is a server one. Let's see the connect dot interceptor musk dot handle mm, new auth service handler. In that same way, new greet service handler you need to add here. Okay, what we can just copy it or we can type it if you want. So this is a greet which takes uh, greet service. You can do a greet service, and then you just have to implement mask, which takes http uh, mask server or new mask server, new mask server. It will be on HTTP. Yeah. Oh, and then a path which which returns on a path and a handler which comes from sorry which come from greet version 1 connect dot uh greet service new greet service handler new greet service handler. And if you go here, it takes on a service handler and some of the options, which returns in a string and in an HTTP handler. Okay, which takes a greet service handler. So greet service handler is greeter. If it is a greeter or greet, I don't know. Greeter. Oh, this one is a greet service. Okay, and it also need to take this one. Okay, it fixed now. I think we don't need that as we have not installed the validate, so we can mask dot uh, handler mask dot sorry mask dot handler which takes pattern. I think this takes path right. This takes path and handler, and here you just have to pass the path and handler. So you got mask dot handle, and then you just need p dot new HTTP protocol p dot set HTTP1 true, and we use 2HC so we can serve HTTP2 without TLS, which is we will set unencrypted HTTP2, then HTTP dot server which have an address, which have a handler, and which have a protocols, and then just s dot relation server. Okay, so that was just to enable the HTTP2 without TLS. So without TLS means this one unencrypted call. In a separate terminal window, you can now update go get connect rpc.go slash connect. Okay, let's go on validate. We don't have a validate one. Okay, it's taking a bit of time. And then just waiting. You're running on 8084. You can just open a one new terminal. You can just copy it, curl this one, and then greet version 1, which takes in a greet service, and this one is a method. So we get a hello Jen because the name is Jen. But if you do Rahul, then it could be Rahul, right? If you try to do this one, so Rahul XF, then it will say hello Rahul XF. Okay, that's really cool. Uh, so it was like you can just learn the pattern how we make a request for it. But this one is an HTTP 1.1, and so with an JSON payload. So what we do here, we setting an content type, which is an application slash JSON. The data is name and then Rahul, like that, and then not on the same day. Sorry, I don't know. I was just speaking. Um, so we have a curl, then we have a header, and then data, whatever the data we are passing, and then we have to call a local host 808. Then I mean, this is where it is situated. So that's the reason there was a convention we need to do. In this, you can see the greet.version1 dot greet service, and then the method greet. Okay. After this, your new handler automatically support gRPC request too. So how you can do buff curl schema? Schema is slash greet dot proto, and the protocol is gRPC, and it will have an HTTP2 pre-read experience, and then data is name Jan, and then the stick we have there is from 2050 to this. So you can see buff curl schema, then protocol, then HTTP2 pre-read knowledge, and then the data. And okay, what you can do is just you can copy it and just type it. That works good. Okay, you can also do in that way if you want. That wasn't on a server side, it's on a server one. Okay. Okay. Good. We have coded our client side code. Now it's time to do it for, I mean, we did for a server side. Now it's time to do for client side too. So you can just create mkdir client like that, and then you can just create here you can just do an package main, which takes an greet version 1, and then greet version 1 connect RPC. Here the client is a greet version 1 connect dot new service client, and that service client takes an http dot default client and a local host where our server is running. And we will do on a client dot greet. That client dot greet will take a context dot background and a greet version 1 request. So request takes the name, which is Chan or whatever you prefer. I mean, yeah. And then client dot greet, which takes on a context dot example. Client dot greet takes context, and then request seek version 1 dot greet request, and yeah, that's good. Okay. Okay. How it looks, the client they have is a great version 1, uh, great version 1 connect dot new great service handler, and which takes like one is around great service client, and the another one is absolutely not the winner. We have a hackathon around building MCPIs and some of more things. Now you just need to run this. I think okay, we get it. Okay, above curl, and then the schema is like this. Okay, you have built your first connection service. Okay, here is the way to use gRPC protocol instead of connect protocol. So the new connect protocol, a simple HTTP handler protocol, and work over HTTP 1.1, HTTP 2. It takes the best option of gRPC, and so the new connect protocol, a simple HTTP based protocol that works over the it takes Sure. Mm-hmm. Okay. So including a streaming package is them into a protocol that works equally even in browser, monolith, and microservices. The Connect protocol is what we think the gRPC protocol should be. By default, a JSON and binary encoded protobuf is supported. These gRPC protocol that is a used thousand of salt. The gRPC protocol that issued through uh, the gRPC system, making Connect Go compatible with other gRPC implementation out of a box, and the gRPC Go content will work with Connecto servers and vice versa without issue. In fact, before Connect Go, a public reason this is exactly what the buff CLI was doing. The gRPC web based protocol used by gRPC slash gRPC web, call which Connect Go uh, servers to interact, uh, inter, interop with gRPC web frontend without the need of an intermediary proxy. By default, Connect Go support ingress from all proposal without any configuration. Connect Go client use the uh, gRPC or gRPC web protocol setting with free grok. Grok, is that grok with gRPC? Tarbooj. Okay, I think we are closing it. The reason for close again, it has a bit of sleepy. I will try to start it tomorrow morning and we'll try to wrap up things. So I would say bye bye. I'll see you soon.